Hi. Welcome inside the Sunset Lounge for another episode of Your Dark Companion. Warmest greetings to you all, no matter where you are, no matter how you may be receiving this podcast transmission. We're glad that you're digging what we've got today, and we're glad that you're with us. You can join on Patreon. We're on patreon.com, and you can join by going on there. You can be a full-fledged Everything is Everything member, or at any level you might desire. We're glad to have you with us. I would be Mike Rhyner. We have the full crew with us today. Our executive producer, Rebecca Moore, is here. She is no nonsense. She is no bullshit. Ashley Bullington, also no nonsense, no bullshit.
Interesting choice of words, but okay.
Our technical director. Now, so who is about bullshit? Who is about nonsense? Well, I certainly am. But we have one more who also is. He is Shoopy.
Hello.
Hello, Shoopy.
Aw.
See there? He lives for that.
There it is.
So childish.
You are.
All right. So there you go. That's who we are. That's what we do. And for the next hour or so, we're going to visit with one of my favorite people that I've known since I've been in the game, both at the Ticket and at the Freak. One of my favorite people on the planet. She is with us today. She is a delight whenever you run across her. She is the great Krystina Ray.
Always with the great intros. Thank you,
Always.
Mike.
Always.
That's so sweet.
How are you? Our path has not crossed in a while.
I know it's been too long, but I mean, I'm sitting here with you right here and this great group of people, so things are pretty well right now. Going pretty good right now.
Pretty groovy right now.
Yeah.
And I understand they're going pretty groovy in other ways for you, too.
So far.
I was, Krystina, in case you don't know, Krystina did not, she managed to hang on up at the Freak, unlike so many of the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that with no bitterness at all. It's just part of what happens in the game. That's it. I hold no ill will toward anyone to either exit that day or who were able to hang on. But Krystina did hang on, and she is now doing afternoon drive on 97.1 The Eagle. And I am told, I don't know the details on this, but I'm told that you learned, I guess maybe a couple weeks ago or maybe even last week, that not only are you doing afternoon drive on the Eagle, you are killing it.
Yeah, people keep telling me I'm number one, Mike. I don't know what that means. I've never heard that before.
I know what
but yeah.
that means.
I'm like, all right, cool.
I know what that means, and that means that's good, Krystina.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yep, there you said it. That's what people keep saying. So things are going really, really well so far.
They've not sat you down and told you how it all breaks out and everything?
No, they did because I'm one of those who I won't believe it until I actually see it. So I had
That's
to actually
good.
see it for myself.
That's a good posture to take.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, congratulations.
Thank you.
Although I can't say I'm surprised by that because I've listened to you quite often when I'm in the car, but probably right when you first started doing that, or not too long after you had started, I flew by there one day and I listened to Krystina do a break, and I was absolutely mesmerized by it. By, number one, how great she sounded. Number two, how professional she was. Number three, and this is the big one, how it sounded like you've been doing this all your life.
Thank you.
I mean, it's incredible.
No, I was telling Becca as soon as I walked in, you had sent me a text right after.
Yeah, I
that,
did send you a text.
and it was one of the nicest texts I'd ever received. And for you to compliment me on radio, I was just like, I need to take a picture of this. I need to print it and I need to frame it just to see this forever.
I was so blown away by it. And I hate to say I was surprised, but I really was. You don't just walk into that situation and have it down the way you seem to. I mean, you compare probably the top women radio personalities that I've ever been around, that I've ever worked with as far as being DJs go, are Tempe Lindsay, who for years was on Q102 doing the morning show there, and she came over to the Zoo. Her and Beverly Beasley. Beverly Beasley did 6 to 10 for many years at night on the Zoo, and they both were just fantastic. They were flawless in their delivery. They always had something unique and as original as you can be doing that job, to say professional in every way. And I listened to a couple of more breaks after that, and I thought, man, there's not a lot of difference between them and her.
Wow. Thank you.
And I'm not trying to butter you up or embarrass you or anything like that.
No, I know you're not, which is why it means so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that with people. You know me well enough to know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But man, you are just fantastic.
Thank you. It's it helps a lot too. Like this music, I've listened to it forever.
Yeah.
I know these bands.
Yes, you do.
And so most of the stories I'm talking about and stuff, I genuinely have an interest in.
Yes.
And I'm actually excited, and it's fun to talk about. So
It
that helps
shows.
a lot
It
too.
comes through.
Good.
Most DJs, by the time they get to Dallas or a market like that, they've really pretty much had it. And they don't add a lot of original stuff into their shtick or anything like that. A lot of them are prohibited by their program director for doing that. Have they tried to limit you in any way?
No, and see, that's another thing I'm lucky with is I kind of have free reign right now. It's if I want to talk about something nerdy, like there's a green dinosaur fossil they just found, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but talked about it.
Wow.
And so until I do hear otherwise, I'm able to kind of just talk about what I want to talk about. And I guess so far it resonates with our listeners, and that's really good for me. It's really good that they like what I like.
Well, if they're smart, they won't mess with something that's working.
I hope not.
But people in radio very frequently are not smart, Krystina. Just ride this out for all you got, and keep doing what you're doing, because if they don't like it, somebody else might.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, you're just fantastic, and it just thrills me to hear you on the air doing what you're doing, and think that when I first met her, she was a ticket chick.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
really weird. And when I first met you, I didn't know anything about the ticket. I really didn't. I took the job because I wanted to get out of like news, TV stuff. I did that up in Sherman at KXII for a little bit.
I didn't know that.
I did. I was directing a whole morning show, Mike, up in Sherman. Yeah.
Wow.
I was
All
technical.
this?
I was
I didn't-
technical director.
I knew
and-
some of this, but didn't realize the full scope of it.
It was a lot. But yeah, and I was just out of college too. So I was a 19-year-old directing a morning show up in Sherman, which
And where'd you go to college?
UNT.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Good old UNT.
Of course.
And that was kind of why I took the TV route, or thought I wanted to go TV, because they kind of tell you at UNT, like, you're not going to make any money in radio, and there's no way you're going to get a job in Dallas in a top 5 market. So you might want to look elsewhere. So you're just like, all right, cool. I guess I won't do radio then. So yeah, I tried my hand at news up there for it. I mean, it was maybe a year, and then I wanted to get back into radio because I had so much fun. I interned with Bo and Jim my final year of college, and it was a blast.
And where were they at that time?
They were at Lone Star that time.
Okay.
This was 2008, 2012.
Yeah.
2012. So yeah, they were at Lone Star, and I just remember how much fun I had doing that, and I thought I wanted to get back to that. And so I tried to, I did a part-time job at CBS 11, and then I did the ticket part-time as well, because I needed 2 to make ends meet.
Of course.
And then it turns out I had way more fun doing ticket chick stuff. I mean, I was promotions first, and then I found out how much money Ticket Chicks make by doing far less work. I was like, all right, can I do that job? I'll do that job. And then I was able to kind of just do that, and then from there I did traffic. I know I wasn't supposed to start talking about.
No.
Okay,
no.
my journey here.
That's
just
what
happened.
I want, Krystina.
Okay. But yeah, so after I did Ticket Chick for a long time, and I met all of you guys, I loved all of you guys at the Ticket so much, and then I became obsessed listening to the Ticket, and I realized this is why people love this station so much, because these guys are genuinely good people, and y'all were always so kind to me all the time. But yeah, so from there, Becca needed Becca, the traffic girl on the Ticket.
Yes.
She needed a backup. She had no one to fill in for her when she was sick or whatever, and she was pregnant at the time with her first kid.
Yes.
And so she had actually taught me, and I just filled in a little bit, and then she ended up having to take a lot of time off for her first pregnancy. And so I was there seeing you guys all the time. I remember sitting in the room with you and Corby, and you would just stare at me. I'm like, oh God. I gotta do this traffic report, and I'm not really good at it just yet. And Rhyner's sitting here staring at me.
No. I was not thinking you weren't good at it. I was thinking you were quite good at it.
Okay, good.
But it's still intimidating seeing those baby blues staring at you from across the room.
Absolutely.
It still is.
Oh God. You're like, how do I say this name right? Bowie. But yeah, and then I did traffic while filling in for Becca, and then went to KSCS from there, and God, yeah. And then
Were you jogging on KSCS?
Yes, I did weekends there. And then I also did traffic there and for their morning show for a little bit once Becca got back from her pregnancy. So yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
What's a Ticket Chick?
So you're basically a promo person, but you stand there, you wear a little less clothing, and you smile and you look pretty.
And you hand koozies out to guys and stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
That is what a Ticket Chick is.
Okay.
It's either that or a female ticket listener. In certain circles, probably maybe even wider circles, it's that. But on the inside up there, Ticket Chick is what Krystina described.
Okay.
Which I don't even know if they still have Ticket Chicks. Do they still have Ticket Chicks? They don't?
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, it's 2024 is probably kind of frowned
I was
upon.
gonna say, I feel like that's but you know what? It's like a Monster Girl. Or like
yes,
yeah,
Monster
so I feel
Girl,
like
yeah.
it'd be fine.
Yeah. I did do Red Bull. I did Red Bull while I was in college. And so I think maybe that helped me out. But yes, that's what a Ticket Chick is.
Okay,
Actually.
I'm sorry to take away from the conversation. I just was very confused about what a Ticket Chick was.
We have new listeners every day.
Didn't listen to?
That's right. New listeners every day. You learn something every day.
So we got to teach them.
That's right. We do, Shoopy. Are you ready for that?
I hope so.
You ready for the challenge?
I'm ready to teach.
Okay.
I'll teach real hard.
All right. I'll teach real hard, too. Well, man, I'm very, very happy that it's going well up there for you, because if anybody deserves it, it's you.
Thank you.
I mean, you are one of the nicest people I've ever run across. You have nothing bad to say about anybody, and that's one of the reasons why everybody loves you.
But even more, I can attest, she knows how to do everything up there. Like when I first came on board with iHeart, I'd been out of radio for 10 years. It was a different system they had. Krystina especially helped me so much to get my sea legs. Like she offered, when I first started, I was working for 2 shows, so 8-hour shift.
Oh, God,
without even asking, Krystina offered to take the last segment of Ben and Skin that I was working and just sit in so I could help out, prep for the downbeat and all that. And just every time I had a question, every time just anything needed to be done, K-Ray was the one that I went to, because she just knew everything. And to this day, I cannot thank her enough.
That's sweet.
I didn't get a chance to officially say goodbye when I left iHeart a couple weeks ago.
Don't make me cry now.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I will.
Maybe I will.
But no, Krystina is not only an incredible person, she's an incredible coworker. So there's that.
Thank you, Groove.
Yeah.
There is that.
He's an incredible person as well.
He is.
And the drops. Oh my God, the drop overload that you gave me is just the best. Mother load, I should say.
Yes.
The whole arsenal is the secret I was missing this whole time.
Yeah.
He is defined by the drops.
I did think about taking everything just to be a jerk, but I was like, no.
No. Thank you.
All right, so all that's well and good. Krystina Ray is a fantastic air personality. But wait. There's a whole other thing.
Is there?
She's kind of cool. She's kind of a badass, y'all. She's so sweet and so great, but she's freaking badass.
She's an extreme badass. Because in addition to what she does on the radio, there's that crazy little thing called Oatmeal Pizza.
Shreds, y'all. Shreds.
Now, tell everybody who doesn't know what that is.
So Oatmeal Pizza is the Nirvana cover band that I am in. And those guys, I know y'all just called me a badass, but those guys are really extremely talented. So we have our lead singer, Josh Campbell, who absolutely just nails Kurt Cobain's vocals as well as the guitar solos. He's so good. Nick Forte is on bass. He does backing vocals. He's also incredible, as well as just all the bass licks as well. He gets them spot on every time.
I know his mom.
And, oh, yeah, that's right.
I do.
Didn't you guys?
And his dad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put in the dad there, because for a hot second,
Right,
I was
right.
like, Mike.
And then... Rhyner, you know how amazing our drummer is, Joey Johnson.
Oh, man. He is one of the best that I've heard in years.
That's really high praise from Mike
Rhyner.
Rhyner.
Exactly. He, and I'm not a drummer, so I know that he's a good drummer. I'll hear him do these random drum fills that even I look back during a live show, I'm like, what the hell was that? But when you reached out to him, you're like, you're good. I want to do something with you. And then we'll do shows all the time where we have people come up to him after we stop playing and say, dude, you're good.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
I mean, he really stands out. The thing that really sold me on him was he put a couple things online of him just riffing and playing. And you don't think of the music of Nirvana as requiring much technique on drums. And really, when you look at it, it probably doesn't require a whole lot of technique. Well, Joey plays it with technique, and it comes off much, much better. His technique is just superb. And, yeah, you're right. I love the guy. I love the guy, and I'd love to do something with him. I hope someday we get a chance. But right now, Oatmeal Pizza has him, and that's a good place for him to be, because you guys are playing a lot. You got a following now, don't you?
We've got a pretty big following. We play this Friday night, but we played at the House of Blues not too long ago, which was just an absolute, my mind was blown that we were playing at House of Blues.
Yeah.
And they had a whole acoustic, we did an unplugged set, basically, like a Nirvana unplugged set. And just walking onto that stage, it was insane. And the sound was incredible. And I have videos posted everywhere. It was really, really good. It turned out really well.
Oh, it's a nice room. It's a nice room to listen, nice room to play, for sure. How often do you guys play these days?
Man, so we went a long time where it was every other weekend, and we've been together for over a year now, we've been a band for over a year now. And so we had a ton of shows just back to back there for a hot minute. And now the House of Blues show was our last show. So it's been about a month. But we're about to start kicking back up again. We just kind of took the summer for vacation and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. It's good when you can do that.
Yeah, but it's good to be in well demand too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that for sure.
But it has been awesome watching their progression. Josh and Nick and Joey have all played together in different bands since high school. They've been playing together for 20 plus years. Seeing Krystina's progression, not like she was ever bad or anything like that, but the comfort level, has been awesome to watch, because I think I was at, a few of y'all's first shows. Our bands have played together a few times, but then I haven't gotten to see y'all play in a few months, but watching the videos, just watching your stage presence, watching you, have everything turned up an extra couple notches.
Yeah.
On your playing, on your confidence, on all that, and watching you fully mesh with the band has been really cool to see because, like I said, they've played together in different forms. Like Nick can also drums and play guitar.
Yeah.
You know, they've had different configurations with each other, but seeing you, you know, you were great from the start, but seeing you really hit another level, hit a comfort level, has been really fun to watch.
Can I amplify further on that?
Yeah.
Probably one of the best things that I can say about you in that, and I know this is going to sound like faint left-handed praise, and like I'm just saying it because you're a girl, but you really look like you belong.
You know what? I remember you telling me that after, God, what show was that? You went to one of our shows.
Yeah, I've been to one of your shows.
You came up to me and you said, Krystina, you look like you belong. And I was like, what? What?
I mean, I hope you didn't take that the wrong way.
No.
A lot of people would.
How would you take that the wrong way?
Well, I don't know. A lot of people may think it's, just faint left-handed praise that I'm saying something nice for the sake of saying something nice. And I'm not really saying anything about how well you do what you do. But you do what you do very well, but you look like you belong. I mean, it's kind of a tough room for a woman to work her way into.
Yeah.
And look like she has business up there. Looks
right.
like she can hang with those guys up there. And
I know
you
what
do.
I'm doing.
You pull it off.
And that's something that I think has been also cool is I think you've mentioned to me a couple times, like you've had like little girls that were in the crowd and stuff like that either said they essentially you inspired them to pick up a guitar or that they really want to, or just that it was really cool to see a woman playing in a band like that where, clearly not a filler or anything like that. Like you're there because you belong there, but it also inspires another group of people to take part and maybe, pick up a guitar.
Yeah, it's always really sweet when the little girls especially will come up
Yeah.
to me and just kind of single me out just because I'm a girl playing guitar.
Well, they can relate to it. They
Yeah.
identify with it.
And it goes to show a lot for, Nick, Joey, and Josh, too, to just give me that platform, too. I mean, they could easily be like, no, you're not doing a solo. You know who you are. But those guys are extremely sweet and have never even given me any, like, they want me to do more than I'm doing, if anything.
Well, let's go down that road. How did you get into that band? I mean, were you there like on the ground floor or had they already started it or?
It's really a funny story that I think you'll appreciate. So Josh had approached me. I was at Hunter Cannon. I was at a Hunter Cannon show at the Kessler. I forget which band he was with, but our very talented friend Hunter. And I was in line to get a drink with Mike Soroy. And Josh approached me while I'm in line, and I am so drunk, I don't really remember this whole conversation. I shouldn't have been getting another drink.
By the way, I know him. I know Mike Soroy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Mike
Y'all have-
Soroy.
I do.
So yeah, I shouldn't have been getting another drink, but I was because that's what I do. And Josh had approached me, and I remember him now asking me, "Hey, I've seen you post videos online of you playing guitar. I'm in a band. We're going to cover In Utero soon. We would love to have you join us just for that show." And I thought, okay, cool. And totally forgot about it. He thankfully reached back out to me. He messaged me and said, "Krystina, hope you're still on board with this. We've got practice, in a week or so." And then I showed up for practice. All those guys were super nice to me and just, meeting them all for the first time.
Did he give you stuff to learn?
He did, yeah. The In Utero album, he said he was covering it all. So I was really nervous at first because I hadn't played in a band in years. So very long time.
Yeah, now see, I've known you for a long time, and I've
Yeah.
always known that you were a guitar player, but I never have been able to really get my head around the idea that you were anything except I always thought of you as like a folk guitar player, just like you might think of girl guitar players,
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I know you love Led Zeppelin, I know you love rock and roll, that you're as big a rock and roller as certainly as I am or as anybody is, but I just couldn't couldn't get my head around the idea that you were something other than what I thought until I actually saw it.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, I guess I won't blame Taylor Swift for that, but I think most people, when they hear a girl who plays guitar, they think, okay, so you can play like G and C on acoustic. Cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
And then
cool
me,
story, bro.
that's kind of why I posted those videos before I joined this band, to show people I can solo a little bit. Like, I can do more than just, acoustic guitar here. So I'd always wanted to join a band, but the opportunity was never really there until these guys, thankfully, just kind of whisked me up and saved me. And it's funny, right after that first practice with me, they all kind of said, hey, so can you join permanently? Can you join us forever? And I was very, very happy to say yes. And then that first show was at Double Wide, and we sold it out. And then that was, here we are.
Yeah. I think that's where I saw you, one of your shows at the Double Wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've had a few there.
Yeah.
I love that place. I love it.
It was a good show. It was a really good show. And I was very impressed by everybody in the band and the way you guys went about your whole business.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice band. Everybody should go see Oatmeal Pizza.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
you.
It's a good band. If you're into Nirvana, you will close your eyes and think that you're probably going to get as close to the real thing as you ever will. And that's about the best thing I can say about
That's
it.
a huge compliment, too, though.
So let's talk a little bit about back to the radio thing.
Okay.
You joined us at the Freak, and we all were doing that together, and then that blew up, and that hit some harder than others. Were you thinking that you weren't going to get to stay?
It was a tough choice because.
Oh, you did have the choice.
Well,
yeah, I guess you did.
I had the choice. But as you know, Mike Soroy is more than just a friend of mine.
Yeah, I know that.
That kind of got let go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of torn. It's like, it's how do you stay somewhere that let go? Not only someone you are with, like your partner, but all these people you care about.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually came up to me and he said, Krystina, if you leave this opportunity, this amazing opportunity, I will be mad at you. I will be upset with you if you leave this. And I was like, all right, cool.
I'm not surprised by that.
No, he's incredible. I mean, we were friends for a long time before, and he's definitely one of those people who will give you the best advice, whether you want to hear it or not. He is the go-to guy for that. So I was really upset about the whole thing. I don't know how you couldn't be upset about all that happened. It was tough.
Yeah, it was.
And then you start playing the rock music and stuff, and I realize, okay, I can fit this pretty well. It's
you
okay.
do. You do. I mean, you more than anybody else up there, you were able to toggle back and forth and wisely, which is not a manner in which they always acted up there, but wisely, they saw that. Mm-hmm. Somebody saw that. Somebody said, we might have something here in you. And they were not wrong.
I think it helped, too, that, I was on the Eagle before as well. And I just did the weekends there. But, yeah, that probably saved me. It probably gave me a good shoe in.
Knew you'd done it before. You had a little experience. You knew how stuff worked up there. And you knew the format. Mm-hmm. So that turned out to be a good thing for you.
Yeah. Turns out it was way better than I even expected it to be. Yeah.
So are they? What did they said to you about your good ratings and everything like that? I mean, surely they told you how much they appreciate it and they're very happy and everything. Surely they have.
They just say congrats. I mean, like I said the other day, I walk in and I have a salesperson just kind of give me a high five. Just, number one, good job. But it's
hard to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier I kind of needed to see it actually to believe it, because it's just weird. I don't experience that a whole lot. So you got to appreciate the best you can when it happens.
I mean, it's hard
Next
to do
month
that.
It could change.
It's hard to do that in talk radio.
Yeah.
But it's maybe harder to do it in music radio because you got a whole lot of music stations out there.
Mm-hmm.
And every one of them has at least one other that's doing about the same thing that they are, you know? I mean, every one of them's got a direct competitor. And sometimes that direct competitor is doing it better than they are, but for whatever reason, they just might not get the ratings.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do, and I can't tell you how happy I am for you that you were the one to do it.
I mean, and you're competing with people's phones now too. So
Yeah,
you've got
tough.
even more things that you've got to compete against instead of just another station. So the fact that people would rather listen to you.
I gotta make those green dinosaur bones sound really interesting to keep people tuned in.
But as long as I've known Krystina Ray, I know she loves Nirvana. But there is one, at least one, that I know she loves more.
Ooh.
Who could it be? Rolling Stones?
Nope. You probably love the Rolling Stones, but that's not who I'm thinking of.
Dun, 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 dun.
What's that?
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
I thought she was going to do a
suspense
song.
music?
Oh.
That's what I thought, too.
Dun, dun. That's all I got. Thank you.
There we go. There you go.
We're talking about Led Zeppelin.
I've heard of them.
Led Zeppelin.
That's what it's all about for you.
I am obsessed with Led Zeppelin, and I have been since I was 16 years old, Mike.
Now, what got you into them exactly?
Funny story. So before so I actually had a friend come up to me. I was listening to School of Rock soundtrack on my little MP3 player because I couldn't afford an iPod when they first came out. They were really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that on my MP3 player, and I had a friend come up to me. Again, I was freshman in high school, waiting for my mom to come pick me up.
By the way, I'm trying to get my iPod restored.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You still have it?
I still have it, and I would love nothing more than to have it up and running again.
I don't know if that works like that.
Becca,
What do you mean it doesn't? It doesn't work like
Just
that.
totally crushing his dreams
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
on the air.
I'm pretty sure the technology in it doesn't work anymore.
Well, there are guys out there that say they can do it.
Have
That
we
say
met
they
any
can
of
restore
them?
it.
Have we met one?
No, I haven't met one. Anyway,
for
enough about that. Let's get back to Christina.
For a nice price, they'll help you out. Sure.
I will pay that
That's
price.
it's like the people on Instagram who say they'll help you restore your account when in reality they're just stealing your $200.
So
Well, I will pay the price. Whatever.
Okay.
If anybody out there can help me, if anybody out there can help me and make it work,
Keyword.
then I will pay you handsomely. Yes, keyword. Make it
work.
work. I will pay you handsomely. Now back to Christina.
Well, I hope it does work, because can you imagine what songs he's got on there?
That'd be amazing.
Oh, I've got great stuff on there. I've
Yeah.
got unbelievable stuff on there. All right, now let's go back to you and Led Zeppelin.
Yes. Okay, so I was listening to the School of Rock soundtrack. He comes up to me, says, "What are you listening to?" And it just so happened to be "Immigrant Song" by Zeppelin, because that's on that soundtrack. That soundtrack's incredible, by the way. You would love it. And so I tell him that, and he goes, "Oh, you like Led Zeppelin?" He lights up. And I tell him, I don't know anything about Zeppelin. I knew "Immigrant Song." I knew "Rock and Roll" because it was on a Ford commercial or something.
Right.
And that was my extent. That's all I knew. And so he said, "Okay, cool. I'm going to bring you a CD tomorrow. I just want you to listen to it. Maybe it'll change your mind." So the very next day, he brings me Zeppelin 2 on CD. And I remember I was excited. I go home and I put it in my big old stereo. 5-disc changer stereo, by the way.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
Big money.
Fancy. I was
Legit.
spoiled. I put it in there. And as soon as I hit play, again, this is super vivid for me. I remember this moment sitting on my bed, staring right at my stereo. And I hear the da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And
Remember it well myself.
it was just kind of a religious experience, the best I can explain it. Just kind of an awakening for me, because like everything just made sense when I heard that song, and then what is it right after that? What is and what should never be is right after that.
That's right.
You have the Lemon song on there. I was absolutely blown away. I thought this was the greatest thing I'd ever heard in my entire life. And again, it was just kind of an awakening for me. And so ever since that moment, I have been hooked. I've listened to everything I can that's Led Zeppelin related. I tried my best to learn everything I can about Zeppelin. Hammer of the Gods, I read that in high school. And yeah, and again, I've been absolutely obsessed ever since. And another cool thing, I don't know if you know this or I've told you this, my very first tattoo is Jimmy's symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Zoso right here. And that same friend who gave me that CD was always badgering me to finally get a tattoo, but I'd never gotten one, right? So it was my first one. I was a little hesitant on it. And it was my freshman year of college. I was back in town visiting my parents. And he was giving me, can I cuss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He was giving me shit about it. He's like, you still haven't gotten this tattoo. Fine. You're not going to
By the
get
way,
it.
I've already cussed today, so yeah, you can.
Okay. And so I go, okay, fine. We'll go get it. We're going to go get it. I'm going to get it while I'm leaving town so my parents don't know about it, even though I was 19 at the time. But still, I don't want my sweet parents to know that their Krystina got a tattoo. So I get it. I got it right up here. And I go home. I go to college, right? Back to my dorm. And
Where'd you go to college?
UNT.
Okay.
UNT, and I was hanging up a calendar that my mom had just gotten me for Christmas, and it was a Gibson calendar. And so it had musicians' birthdays on there. I hung it up, and I start marking off the days to catch up with what day I'm on now. The day I was on now, Jimmy Page's birthday. I got his tattoo on Jimmy Page's birthday. Accurate use. I would have liked Ashley's dun 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 too, though.
I was gonna say I'm definitely getting that as a drop.
So yeah, that's just another. I don't know. That's why I'm even more intertwined with Zeppelin as well, because that happened on top of it all. It was just too perfect. It was too perfect.
I guess you never were fortunate enough to see them, were you?
No. And so it still breaks my heart. Jason Bonham had a birthday not too long ago. He's in his 70s now, I believe. Is that right?
That can't be right.
I don't know. Maybe
Well
it's
done.
late. Is it late 50s?
58.
58. Okay, good. Sorry. I scared myself when I said it too. Did you see its face? Like, no.
What?
But 58, I mean, there's still hope there. You have John Bonham's son there. You guys are all still alive. We can do it. But I will say I remember their O2 Arena show back in 2008.
Yeah.
I remember trying. This was back when we had dial-up internet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a senior in high school, and I was trying to just get on the wait list to buy tickets to that show, even though it was in London. I was going to figure that out later. But I kept telling my mom to stop picking up the phone because I was trying to get in line to buy these tickets. So I was trying to see them live, even though I know that performance was awful. So it's probably a good thing I wasn't there. But
no, you wouldn't want to see them if they, or I wouldn't want to see them. Maybe you would because you never saw them. But I saw them, I think, 3 times, and they had serious fastball then.
yeah.
They had really serious fastball, and I understand why you wouldn't want to see them if you don't think they still did, because now, I don't know, something's happening with me. I don't enjoy going to shows much anymore. And the reason I don't is because most of the guys I want to go see are so old that they don't have serious fastball anymore.
Yeah.
They just can't do it like they used to do it, and it's disappointing. It's disheartening. It's it tarnishes them in some way, for me to go see that. Now, one I went to see recently, who still has got it, like he ever did is Todd Rundgren.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Todd Rundgren guy. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't, but I am. And I see him every time he rolls through here if I possibly can. I've been a fan of his since he was in his first group, Naz, in 1968. The year I got out of high school, he was about 16, 17, 18, something like that then. I think he's a little older than me. But I've been a fan of his ever since, and he rolled through the Majestic Theater not too long ago, and I went to see him, and man, that guy is still as good as he ever was, and he can still sing. He's still got his falsetto, all the things about him that you would want him to have. He's still got.
He's Styx. I'm sorry. Styx or Yes? Which band is he? Todd Rundgren.
Neither.
Neither? He's on his own?
Yeah, he's always been he'll play with bands from time to time, just join them and
okay.
And hang out with them and play with them, but ever since the band Naz, when he was a teenager, he's been a solo guy.
Okay.
And hasn't really joined up with anybody else that I can think of. But man, it's really disappointing to see these guys when they try, but they just can't do it anymore,
But you had the honor of seeing them before, right?
Yeah,
when
I
they
did.
were younger. So
I
if
did.
you were like me and you loved these bands and this was your only chance to see them is at this age, would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Okay.
I would do it. Just, for no other reason than just so I could say I did,
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do. But I will agree that I wish, if it were possible in any way, that I could go back and see them in their prime, because it would be incredible.
Yeah, it would.
My dad tells me stories all the time about he saw Queen, he saw AC/DC back in the day, and every time he tells me those stories, I just tell him that it's not okay. It's not fair.
It puts you in a bad place.
It
doesn't
does
it?
put me in a bad spot. And so I want to ask about your Zeppelin concerts. Which one was the best one and why it was the best one?
Probably the first time I saw them, which was at the Fair Park Coliseum, where they played ice hockey, a building that's
The
still.
band did?
No, the band didn't play ice
It'd be
hockey.
fun though, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
Bonham is a goalie.
This is shit.
But
concert.
they played minor league ice hockey there some years after that. But before that, it was used for rodeos and stuff like that. It's not a good place for a show at all, but nevertheless, it's what they used it for back then. And Led Zeppelin came through there for the first time. The second time they came through was at the Dallas Memorial Auditorium, as it was known then. It's known as the Dallas Convention Center Arena now. And there, they'd tightened up quite a bit, and that was very, very strong. And then, a few weeks after that, they rolled through the Texas International Pop Festival. And were really good there, too. So my Led Zeppelin quota was filled in a very short period of time, right after they came out, I saw them 3 times in a span of about, 9-10 months or something like that.
It's my dream. It's my dream. Was it crazy packed each time you saw them?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they were as big then as they are now. Well, probably nothing. It's probably all relative. But it just seems like they are a band that has, even though they've been absent from the scene for a long time, number one, their music is still very, very present everywhere. And number two, somehow that has only increased the mystique,
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that they're not around anymore, you're never going to go see them. And that somehow increases the mystique of these bands like that.
And you would think that would make them want to do one more show, just make a ton of money off this one more show, guys.
Yeah.
You got it.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Robert Plant could still sing?
So we saw you let me see him pretty up close and personal when it was at the Bomb Factory.
Yeah.
I think it's just the factory now.
Yeah.
Sorry. And so
I like the Bomb Factory better.
when we were at that show, like you just said, I was kind of worried that this might ruin Robert Plant for me because I have seen a lot of bands where they just they don't have it anymore. They can't hit those notes. But he did a really cool thing to where he kind of, because he did do some Zeppelin covers in a different way, but he also kind of lowered the pitch and like which notes he would hit. And he would just hit like an octave lower, and it still sounded really good. So if Zeppelin were to get back together, I think he could still do it, but he wouldn't be able to move around, and we wouldn't want to see him wearing what he wore back then nowadays. But I wouldn't care.
No, I wouldn't care either. And, you know, the thing about bands like that is that one key guy can't do what he used to do. Another guy is gone. But I guarantee you, Jimmy Page would probably forego at least 3 toes to be able to do it again.
I think he desperately wants
I
to.
think he does too.
And all the other guys are just kind of fine just chilling at home, but poor Jimmy.
You think JPJ wants to do it again?
I bet he would if he was convinced, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of it's sad for a band to end like that.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
For them to, you know, all except one be alive, but they've got his son ready to step in and could probably do what he did probably about as well as he did it back then. It's kind of sad for the 2 survivors to want to do it, but the other just can't.
It makes you wonder what kind of, like, I don't want to say bad blood, but bad blood there is between Robert Plant after the whole Bonham death thing happened and with his son. Like, there had to be something more there, and that's why he just doesn't want to get back together with them.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had too much black magic with Jimmy Page and just doesn't want anything to do with it anymore.
Do you think Jimmy Page was into black magic and all that stuff?
Oh, I do. I do.
Black?
Which is
what?
What?
That's why having this tattoo on his birthday is kind of a little scary if I think a little too much about it, but
that was a story out there for a while that he was way into that.
He was in Aleister Crowley's house.
Yes.
He bought his place.
Yes, he did.
I think he's past it now. But I think back then, yeah, he could share some stories.
I wish you could have seen him.
Sure.
Am I sure what? That he was
That
actually
he's past it.
Oh, no. You're right. I'm not actually sure that he is, but
He's totally a witch. We're just calling it.
warlock, right? That's what they call him.
They're all the same, you know. Magic doers.
Magicians.
Magic doers. We're just gonna go with it.
Oh, if
I
he
like
really
magic
was
doers.
a witch, he could do the whole Zeppelin reunion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If he
You
really
want some
wants
witchcraft?
it.
Let's see that.
Yeah. Let's see it, Jimmy, please. Prove
We
us all
dare
wrong.
you.
Yeah. You know.
God, I wish you could have seen him though, Krystina. He was such the
I do
badass.
too.
I mean, just everything you could possibly imagine him to be, he was. And,
So I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
and
Anyway.
he captivated the stage.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you couldn't take your eye off of him.
I had 2 questions. Did you see him use the bow? And was he wearing his famous like dragon pantsuit when you saw him?
I don't know. I don't recall if he was wearing the dragon pantsuit. I don't think he was the first time I saw him. I doubt that he was at the Texas International Pop Festival, you know, because it was probably pretty hot out there, and you know, you don't want to drag out your, you know, really major gear for that,
Yeah.
do you?
No.
The other time, I think it was a little too early in their life for him to have that yet.
Okay.
But as far as the bow, oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. He used the bow.
And how many strings did he break on it? And
Quite a few.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever attempted that?
No,
before?
no.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Well, me and my Zeppelin nerdism, of course, I had to attempt it. And I remember ordering a bow online, and you're supposed to actually, I'd never played a violin before. I didn't know, but you're supposed to like put like a cream or whatever on there to make it actually work.
Yeah.
So it did not work well for me. Short story short, didn't work well.
Post-show festivities. We're going to grab a bow and have Krystina and Mike play for fun.
I thought it would be fun and easy. Just
Guitar Center's still open.
okay.
Can we get a bow
Yeah,
from
we need a
Guitar
messenger
Center?
boy for that.
Yeah.
No,
Favor.
it's a lot tougher. Tougher than it looks.
So what other music you feeling these days?
You know what? I saw Cage the Elephant not too long ago. And I don't know if you know anything about Cage the Elephant.
Did you see him at Dickie's last weekend?
Yes.
Okay, somebody asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, I can't. I'm so busy. But
Was that your just excuse not to
yeah, it was my excuse not to go. But now I'm curious.
Okay, they are.
Yes, whoever asked her to go, she didn't go because she didn't want to go with you.
Pretty much. Just didn't want to go.
I understand too. It's Dickies is in Fort Worth. It's kind of a haul if you're in Dallas. Oh, that's right.
I live in almost Fort Worth.
I was trying to save you. You didn't have to say that. But no, so I've seen Cage Elephant, I believe 3 times before this, and they are so incredible live. And some of their songs, you don't realize that you've heard their songs before, and then they start playing it, and you're halfway through the set, and you realize that you've known every single song they play.
Give us
And-
an example.
I don't think I've ever heard a song of theirs, at least. Have I?
Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, I guarantee you've heard before. Grooves is on it.
Oh, yeah.
Just say I don't know if we'll get copyright stricken or however the.
I think
okay.
we'll be fine since
Like,
we're
it'll be my
on
fault.
Vimeo
Fine.
/ Oh, I know this song.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. Okay, yeah, I've heard that.
That's them?
That's them.
Mhm.
And seriously, just go through their other songs too. They're so good. They're so fun, and it's like a mix of just like rock, a little bit of Rage in there. Honestly, Rage Against the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing them live, their front man is, you can compare him to Mick Jagger, because the first time I saw him live was at Dos Equis, and he ran out in the crowd and then like jumped on some random beam right in the middle of the crowd and was singing to all of us. And he was changing outfits throughout the set. They're really good. And ever since, I mean, when I see a band live, it's a really good show. I do get stuck on them for like at least a week or two after.
Yeah, sure.
But they have such a good catalog. They have a lot of really good songs, and I think you'd enjoy them.
Who else? Give me another.
I've always been obsessed with the Black Keys as well, even though they've had some drama going on. And when Kevin Turner says they're not good people, I refuse to believe it, because I love their music.
Why would he say that?
These tear down Turner.
Apparently people they worked with have just, said they're, I don't know, complicated or something. I don't know.
Well, who's not?
Exactly.
I mean, you think the Rolling Stones aren't complicated?
They're the Rolling Stones. You accept it if they're a jerk to you.
I'll bet Led Zeppelin was complicated, too.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the Rockstar thing? Being a little complicated?
Yeah. You got to pull the Rockstar move.
Now, fortunately, all the bands I like are really, really old. And when you get old, you're not complicated anymore. But if you are, you get to be. You get to be.
You have an
Nobody can say anything
excuse.
about
You
it.
earn it.
Yeah, you've earned it. You were my whore.
I want to know where that
You
drop
were the
came
devil.
from.
You want to know where that came
I
from?
want to know exactly what show that was
We
from.
were doing Tiger Woods dramatic readings one day, and I always had to be Tiger,
Ho, ho, ho.
which I was only too happy to do.
Yeah, if you remember the Tiger Woods imbroglio from about 2010 with all the flapjack waitresses and all that, there was a big treasure trove of text that came out from Tiger to these women, and so Shoopy and our friend Rich Phillips on the air at the ticket.
Was
Did a
Rich Phillips
dramatic-
doing that?
Yeah, he was generally the woman.
Can we reenact that with Shoopy and
A must.
Shoopy?
A must.
I think
I'm
it'd be-
sure we could.
Yeah, probably, but got a few already of Shoopy.
Go to the bathroom and take it. You have done just about everything, haven't you? Send me something very naughty. You are my whore.
Those are all from that
Yes.
same reading.
Like he reenacted them on The Freak, but yes.
Yeah, they were a little more I don't know, scripted or whatever the first time around.
Right.
By
Those
then
are a little more-
By then I was starting to feel it a little bit.
And Graves is just marking the whole thing.
Oh, it's
just
so fun.
knowing this is
Oh, yeah.
gold.
Going through that was one of the happiest days of my life.
Yeah.
All right, give me one more besides Cage the Elephant that I should listen to, Krystina
And the Black
Ray.
Keys.
And the
yeah.
Black Keys.
You know the Black Keys.
Yeah, give me one more.
Well, I'm trying to think of one that you don't know of because Jack White just had a birthday as well, and I'm obsessed with all of his stuff. But you know what? He is in a band, or was in a band, called the Dead Weather. You would like that band. He was involved with them.
The Dead Weather, huh?
I believe female lead singer, and just you would enjoy it. Really good,
Yeah.
like hard rock stuff. And I'm just biased on Jack White. Anything he's in or involved in, I love it.
Yeah, we got to meet him, play some softball with him.
That's right, y'all did.
We did.
We did.
Yeah, he's a cool cat.
I wanted to meet him. Corby got me backstage once to meet Jack White, and I'm building up for the moment. I'm super excited, and they announced that Jack White's about to walk through the door, and I'm going, okay, what the hell am I going to say to this guy? He walks in, waves, walks out.
Aw.
So it's the closest I've gotten to.
No,
Not baseball, but
no, meet and greet or form the line and walk up to him and say hey and shake his hand or anything.
I think it was supposed to be, but it was kind of a friends and family thing, which was really cool. But I think he was just tired, and none of us wanted to bug him. You don't want to bug Jack White. If he doesn't want
No.
to talk to you, I'm not going to force you to talk to me.
He was a
That's
really
fine.
nice guy playing softball.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Best softball moment with him? Do you have a good story?
I don't know, no real story or anything like that. Just the fact that I got to do it with him.
Yeah.
You know?
It's huge.
I've got one. I played in that game, and I got a hit to the opposite field. Jack White was playing first base, so when I pull up to first base for my single,
Uh-huh.
he says, "Nice hit, man." And I said, "Thanks, man." And then I took my lead.
Did he give you a little tap, or did you give him a little
I was
tap?
going to say, yeah, no butt tappings.
And you
That's
didn't,
when
you
you do
didn't
it.
even act like you knew who he was, did you?
I tried to play it cool.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
that's what I do. You
That's
know?
what you're supposed
I'm a
to
very
do.
cool person, Shoopy.
That's what you're supposed to do in a situation like
Right.
that.
I'm not going to
Act like you've been there before. Act like you've been around guys like him
Right.
before.
Totally. I've worked with Mike Rhyner for years. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what?
He is.
Jack White's going to intimidate me? No.
He's used to it.
And don't you forget it. Well, Krystina Ray,
Really cool groups.
this has been fantastic.
Thank you for having me. I've had a blast. Seriously. When you first asked me, I thought, wait a minute. Are you sure? Me?
Oh, yeah.
course you.
But
I
thank
was
you.
definitely sure.
Thank you.
I
So
knew what I was
honest.
getting and what I was getting into, and you came in here and you delivered the goods. This is a really good episode of Your Dark Companion, and I thank you very much for it.
Thank you.
Wait,
Fantastic.
I want to say something real quick. Christina, holy crap, your voice, man. No wonder people
Good.
like listening to you. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I-
It is. She's got great pipes.
Like, I mean, I usually listen to you when you were with Ben and Skin, but I didn't get to listen as closely. So
Yeah.
now I'm actually getting to sit here and listen to you. You could fucking read the phone book and I'd listen to it. You're like Mike.
Y'all are going to make my head way too big.
No,
So we
that's
do need
good.
to end this, but thank you. Thank you.
All right, we got to promote the remote
Oh, my
coming up
goodness.
tomorrow.
No.
Don't we? We don't? Well, why is this not going to
This
air?
is going to be after the remote.
Oh, it is? Okay, never mind. We don't have to promote the
Yeah,
remote
so you
then.
you need to promote Elvisino regardless.
Yes.
So you need to talk about Elvisino for me, but don't promote the remote. Because unfortunately,
Okay, well, let's
Christina,
talk
you're not
about
until
Elvisino
next
a little
week.
bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Elvisino translates to the neighbor, and that's exactly what they are. The neighborhood Mexican restaurant over in East Dallas, Bugner and Northcliffe. And you can share great food and drinks with your family and friends. The Tex-Mex runs in their family. Over 100 years ago, with their great-grandfather, he introduced Tex-Mex to Dallas, and they continue the tradition with Elvisino, loved by East Dallas neighbors. Since 2017, what they do is they add their own flair to traditional Mexican while mixing in some new favorites, all home cooked with care. I've been there a few times myself. It's really, really, really good. I dig it. I know you will too. So relish your next meal with your neighbor. Lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Tex-Mex brunch is Saturday and Sunday at El Vecino. Check it out. I dig it. I know you will too. Thanks to Ashley. Thanks to Shoopy. Thanks to Becca. And thanks to all of you being by the channel out there. We do appreciate it. Until next time, I gotta go take my pants off. All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off. Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.